We had a really terrific finish to the last class of last term. It was lovely. And one of the reasons it was lovely was that the guest director Grant Brown, who'd just finished shooting an episode of NCIS Sydney, was really impressed with the way all the actors took direction.
But I just think it's a real gift that you can adapt your performance, to a particular direction. And I just felt that all of you managed that tonight.
But there was another element of the evening which was really impressive, I think, because all the actors with their scenes had clearly identified the key moment. That moment where the story is clearly revealed, where the audience understands what the importance of the transaction is between the characters. And if the actors have done that, then it's telling everyone, director and audience included, that they clearly understand the story. And Grant was really excited by that, and he pounced on those moments. And so his focus was largely entirely on enhancing them and making them stronger and making sure they sat as the peak moment in the scene. And he and the actors had a lot of fun working on that and a lot of enjoyment out of the results. And the reason that actors can identify that moment is because at some point, and preferably the first time you've read the scene, that you have identified what it is about this scene that you find interesting. Where does your interest sit in the way these relationships are unfolding? Because if you are interested in it, it's a very high percentage chance that then in your creation of the scene, that's the thing that's going to interest your audience too. So acquiring, defining, delineating your point of view about what's interesting is going to be a key to you giving yourself permission to play with that moment. And that was one of the significant things about the night as well, was that the actors really landed those moments. They allowed them to have their importance, their priority in the storytelling. And those moments generally are either a turning point, so new information brings a new understanding to the character's point of view, or they reveal the key element that's driving this interaction. They expose the real difficulty that exists between the characters. And in that case, it's probably been there all the time, but this is the moment where a character, and therefore the audience, go, I see what's at stake here. So that's something that I want you to focus on this term, is making sure that you're clear about what the key moment is in the scene, and that you give yourself permission to land it. But there was another factor that was also significant on the success of the night, and that was that both characters in each scene were distinctly different people. And so it's that difference that actually brings that extra level of colour and complexity to the story outcome. Whereas it's easy to get trapped into absorbing, focusing on the drama, the intensity of the story. And then often both characters tend to be playing in the same territory. And then there's a sameness about the choices that each character is making, and everything sort of flattens out. So making sure that you create characters that have a different view of the world is really important to create levels of complexity in your scene. And the tool that we use to do that is making sure that you have two adjectives to describe your character that are distinctly different. If the two key words you come up with to describe your character type, are very similar, then there's not going to be much complexity within your character. They need to be two diverse words that are describing your character. And what's more, the description of your character needs to be very different from the other character, so that you instantly get a sense of these are two different people that are dealing with this problem. So I think that's where I'd like you to place the focus of your choices for the first night. Those key ground level foundation elements that are going to produce an engaging engaging storytelling. And of course, I want you to make sure that you're clear about what specific element of your process that you have maybe already determined that you're going to focus on for this session, because if you don't have a particular thing that you are working on, how are you going to measure at the end of the night whether you've made progress with it or not? I'm really excited about this term, and I'm looking forward to our first night. And at the end of it, we'll be able to decide what it is that we've learnt and what progress we've made. It'll be fun. Cheers.